Warriors rise. Man, the one world economy is here, and Janet Yellen has lost her mind. They want to tax unrealized gains. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. This is a call to action. It is time to click the description down below to join our private Warrior Academy before the price goes up in November, because we are adding a massive portion to our crypto part, Warriors. You get access to my exact portfolio, access to my exit strategy, access to my research team, technical analysis team, and my revolutionary 120-day challenge to help you get your shit together. Let's dive right into it, Warriors. I have so much news to cover. Wow. Well, hopefully you had an awesome weekend, but this is absolutely bonkers, Warriors. Now, I know your first thing you're going to say is, well, I'm not a billionaire, so it doesn't affect me. This is their mindset, Warriors. This is their mindset, okay? Biden's tax laws, over $450,000. You're getting crushed in taxes. Now, proposed billionaire tax would tax unrealized gains, Warriors. Unrealized gains. That means even if you didn't take money out of the stock market or you didn't take money out of the crypto market, literally you would be taxed on those gains even if you didn't cash out. They have lost their mind, and they're taking us towards a one world economy. Now, what does this mean? What they're doing is they're trying to position themselves. They're giving, the working poor $250 per kid. They're starting to do the UBI system, right? The reason why there's help wanted signs. Wake up, Warriors, wake up. The reason why there's help wanted signs everywhere, and there's supposedly supply chain management problems. So they're blaming the supply chain management problem on the problem they're creating. Let me explain. So they're giving people stimulus checks all last year and this little bit this year. Now they're giving you $250 per kid, right? It is cheaper. People are making more money staying at home now. So now they're blaming that on supply chain management problems. At the same time, they're bringing in technology to replace your jobs, wiping out the middle class. And when they wipe out the middle class and there's really, really rich and very, very poor, what happens? They have full control of the economic system, and those who control the money, control the information, control the people's every move. So I want to take you through my narrative. Now, this was August 14th, 2020, but I need you to understand where they're taking us, okay? Now, how can you set yourself up? You need to set yourself up within this present moment. The crypto space is a place where you can make a large amount of wealth right now, okay? And take that money and put it into assets to preserve your wealth. And then also, it's a great opportunity to start to look forward at what the billionaires are buying: land, properties, gold, silver, assets, Warriors. Okay, cryptocurrency space is going to price appreciate heavily, but it's also going to come collapsing back down. That's the time that you really want to get into it, Warriors. So this is the time to join our private Warrior Academy so we can all work together towards generational wealth. So why is it time to take central banks' digital currency seriously? This was back in 2020. The introduction of central bank digital currencies could upend the global economic order. Look at the words that they use. The introduction of central bank digital currencies could upend the global economic order. The technology could bring multiple benefits, such as more efficient trade, greater financial access for millions of people, and reduction in crime. But there are still technology barriers to overcome. Okay. Now, we might be closer to a global currency than ever before. Here's why. At the Jackson Hole Conference on August 2019, the Governor of Bank of England, Mark Carney, argued that it's time to wean the world off the resilience of the US dollar and replace it with a new international monetary system. He eloquently argued that more thought should be given to creating a global electronic currency, which we call worldwide currency, WWC, that could act as a synthetic homogeneous currency, thus dampening the domineering influence of US dollar and global trade. I'm starting to think, Warriors, that this political party right now, this is not about left and right. This is what this political party is doing right now. Okay, say all political parties, what they've been doing since 2008, printing. It's almost like they're working together to make this happen, warriors. This stuff that Janet, I mean, the stuff that they're doing right now is literally sinking the U.S. economy. So we have to think big picture, global. How can we be on the other end of this complete catastrophe that is going to set them up, right? That's why they're printing money into oblivion, why they don't care. The Democrats right now can raise the debt ceiling, warriors. They literally have control of the House. They literally can raise the debt ceiling. They don't need the Republicans to raise the debt ceiling. Do you realize that? And they're arguing with the Republicans and making it look like there's this battle. The Republicans, they have no say in it. They can raise the debt ceiling right now. There should be no delay. They could hit the button and raise the debt ceiling. Why are they not raising the debt ceiling, warriors? That's the only way out of this, or they're going to collapse the economy. The reason why they're doing it is because they want both parties to take blame as they completely collapse this economy. They're all ready for the new economy, warriors. Are you? Okay. So this came out yesterday. Nigeria. This is the reason why I brought the those other things up so we could walk into this. So Nigeria to launch its Naira. Did I get that right? Digital currency on Monday report. To launch was originally set for start of October, and so it was delayed a little bit. The Naira, which is intended to complement the physical Naira rather than replace it, will make financial transactions easier and seamless for everyday strata of society. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's supposed to launch on October 1st, October 4th, but it was delayed in deference to the 61st anniversary of the Nigerian independence on October 1st. So you're seeing all these countries, seems like on a weekly basis, another country is launching. Well, let's find out how many countries are getting involved in CBDCs. So this is pretty cool. This is the Central Bank Digital Currency Tracker. So I look at this on a weekly basis. This is from the Atlantic Council. And there's different trackers like this. So you can see that this gives you 83 countries, currency unions tracked. Okay. So there's 5 that have been actually launched. There's 14 in pilot. There's 16 in development. There's 32 in research. There's 10 inactive, 2 of them canceled. And there's 4 other, I don't know what that means, other, right? So you can see America right now is in research and retail, right? If you look at right here, this is the Bahamas. They're launched, they're retail, technology, hybrid, both. It tells you exactly where they're at. Let's look over here. What is this? This is Caraco. They're inactive. What happened to you guys? You got to get your shit together. So the Ecuador canceled theirs. So if you just look around here, it's pretty cool. You can see here Ghana's in research. If you just pop around the globe here, Australia's in research. We know they're all locked down. We got Madagascar. I love that movie. Let's go over here. We got Canada in development. Interesting. All the countries that are having the weird stuff happening. America, research, development. We got Australia, research. See what I'm saying, warriors? See what I'm saying? Australia's falling apart. Canada's falling apart. US is falling apart. Okay, so how Janet Yellen can help deliver the digital dollar. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen Twitter ablaze during her confirmation hearing when she suggested that policymakers might curtail cryptocurrencies. The next day, she gave a full written answer that highlighted the potential of a digital currency to foster financial inclusion, calming down the cryptosphere for a while. But the incident raised an urgent question. What precisely will the U.S. Treasury Department do about the rise of digital currency? Given the sensitivity of the issue and other pressing problems, it would be understandable for Joe Biden's new economic team to move slowly here. That would be a mistake. Secretary Yellen and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell should quickly harness the potential of these evolving financial tools, including U.S.-backed dollar. Okay, now remember, this is very, very different than a fiat currency, warriors. This is all about a control mechanism when it comes to them getting into digital currency. I want you to understand it. It's going to be very different than your ADA, your Cardano, your Engine, your Mana, all these different cryptocurrencies, right? It's very, very, very different, warriors. When you go onto a digital currency, it pulls you closer to the central bank. It is a massive control mechanism. So now we're going to watch this. Now only 1,800 people watch this from the IMF from October 6th. This is called the New Economy Forum. Okay, think about the words they're using: central bank digital currencies and the international monetary system. Now we're going to watch this short clip from, well, it's not that short, but it's probably about 3 or 4 minutes. But it's very important that you listen to this closely. Okay, so this girl is from MIT. Gary Gensler came from MIT. She's talking about cryptocurrencies. But check this out. Ready?
Very good points, Marcus, and really, I like the analogy to the Google translation. Hopefully, we don't get lost in translation. And what you say very much makes sense in terms of the need for regulations and in terms of the design of the CBDCs to think through these possible transmission channels and try to address them. That provides a very good segue to our second panelist, Neha Nirula, who is the director of the Digital Currency Initiative at MIT. She has been involved in a research collaboration with the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston on Project Hamilton, aiming to understand the technology trade-offs involved in a hypothetical digital dollar. And so, Neha, please tell us, how should the CBDCs be designed to help improve the stability of the global system along the lines of some of the issues that Marcus raised as concerns?
Yeah, well,
Okay, they keep using global system, global economy.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I think we need to take a step back and think about CBDCs in the larger context of innovations in technology and finance. So CBDCs are one way of possibly improving the payments and financial flows, including financial stability, but they're not the only way. And it's not an either-or situation. There will be many solutions deployed in tandem. For example, to improve inclusion, faster payment systems might help lower costs, or there might be regulation to improve access to free or low-cost digital financial services. One thing missing from the discourse is a very rigorous study of how these different solutions might compare and contrast in achieving our goals, like stability. And part of the reason this comparison is missing is because one cannot simply refer to CBDC as a single coherent product or tool. Everyone who does make assumptions on how a hypothetical CBDC might work is making assumptions, and these details matter quite a bit to how the CBDC is used. A specific design's efficacy to achieve its goals depends very much on specifics, and I'm sure that these decisions will be very different in different jurisdictions as well. So let's consider multiple solutions, many of which might be deployed in a complementary fashion, including a range of approaches for how CBDCs might be designed. And we can think of these designs on a spectrum, from approaches that differ slightly from our existing system to designs that are a bit more radical. So, for example, on the end of designs that are sort of incremental changes over our existing system, we can think about regulation that might require commercial banks to provide free accounts, or that might actually give more institutions, more financial institutions, access to a central bank's balance sheet. From there, we move down the spectrum to things like tokenized bank accounts, which is essentially what our stablecoins are sort of going down the path towards becoming.
Okay, remember the stablecoin word, and remember the free accounts that commercial banks must provide. And I'm going to show you the documents that show that's already in play.
And design further away in the realm of central bank digital currency could take on many forms. And one of those forms is something that we call digital cash. So something that is very accessible, very easy to use, and is peer-to-peer, transmitted person to person. Now, with all of these designs, it's important to evaluate trade-offs. And an example here's an example of a factor that is very important to think about, that of access. So who can access the CBDC, but more importantly, not just what the rules are or what we say about who can access the CBDC, but exactly how that access is mediated. So at a very fine-grained level, a very technical level, who actually is in the middle when a transaction happens on a CBDC? Who can prevent a transaction from happening or make it very difficult for an individual to make a payment in a CBDC? Because no matter what the rules say, people are going to use this in ways that we don't expect. And related to that question is what is required to onboard onto a CBDC. So many designs assume some form of digital identity, which in most of the world does not yet exist. And in many contexts, requiring some form of digital identity to use a CBDC could leave out the most economically disadvantaged. So there's still much work to be done here. In addition to that, lowering the barrier to transacting introduces security risks. So the more access there is, the more people who can access the system, the more risk malicious actors accessing the system. So, if we want to achieve these goals of financial inclusion, we have to think about how can we design tools to mitigate entry to the CBDC without necessarily requiring high fees or strong forms of identity. Another important area to think about, another factor of design, is that of data visibility and retention. If privacy from the central bank itself is not taken seriously as a first order concern, then the door is open for states to use CBDC as a form of monitoring and enforcement against their own citizens. And what's very interesting here, I think, is that first movers have inordinate influence in setting norms and standards. So China's ECNY, for example, is already setting a specific type of expectation that the central bank will not store user data, but that data, which is stored at commercial banks, can easily be aggregated and could be accessed by the government.
Okay, so this is interesting, Warriors. Think about all the things she said that Ripple solves, that XRP solves. Now, that's why people get so upset with Ripple that they are the banker coin. But I'll tell you what, Warriors, if you can't beat them, join them. When you join them, take the money and bring it back to the people. It's kind of like Robin Hood, right? So check this out. So listen to the things that she mentioned. If we go over here to January 2021, the OCC Chief Counsel I can't pronounce that. On national and federal savings associations authority is use independent node verification network and stablecoin payments. I'm learning all about nodes. I just invested in a company that does nodes. So use of independent node verification networks and stable coins for payment activities. This is from your OCC, Operation of Currency Control. This letter addresses the legal permissibility of certain payment related activities that could involve the use of new technologies, including the use of independent node verification networks. Okay. And stable coins to engage in the facilitate payments activity. National banks and federal savings associations, okay, collectively referred to as banks, may use new technologies, including INVNS and related stablecoins to perform bank permissible functions such as payment activities. Already approved, ready to go, ready to rock and roll at your Bank of America, your local Wells Fargo, your little mom and pop bank, ready to rock and roll. As long as they are a federal savings association bank. National banks and federal savings associations can hold and transact nodes for stable coins. Okay. We've already seen this one a million times. I just want to show you this. This is the Banking for All Act that I've brought up a million times. I've been telling you guys this for almost 2 years now, before all this stuff was cool, that this is already in place, Warriors. This is why I made my investments where I made my investments. Digital dollars terms. Digital dollars means dollar balances consisting of digital ledger entries recorded as liabilities in the account of the Federal Reserve Bank. Digital dollar wallets. The term digital dollar wallet means a digital wallet or account maintained by a Federal Reserve Bank on behalf of any person for purpose of holding digital dollar balances. Member bank. The term member bank means a national bank, state bank, or bank trust company, Wells Fargo, Chase, your local bank, which has become a member of the reserves banks created by the Federal Reserve Act 12 USC 221. A pass-through digital wallets. They'd already approved this. The term pass-through digital wallet means it's a digital wallet or account maintained by a member bank on behalf of any person, entitling that person to a prorated share of the pool of reserve balances that the member bank maintains at a Federal Reserve Bank. Okay. This was interesting. This was last year, but the postal retail facility. The term postal retail facility means post office branch, post office classification station, or facility that is operated by a post office. The primary function, which is to provide retail post office services, does not include so basically postal services, I think, will be like where you can deposit checks. There'll be ATMs there where you can handle these types of transactions as well. Okay, so you can see where we're heading, Warriors. It's all here. Okay, so I want to show you guys this real quick. Let's show you what document I'm looking at here. So this is from the BIS, Bank of Bank of International Settlements. So central bank digital currency, system design and interoperability on September 2021. This is from the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements. Okay. If we go to page 4 here, I want to show you something in the document. Where are we at here? Okay, so it's this last right here. Possible roles. The central banks contributing to this report envision the CBDC ecosystem based on a broad public-private sector collaboration tiered system where some roles would be carried out by the public sector and others by the private entities. In an effective system, which actor would collaboratively play the role best suited for. Public entities have public policy goals. Private entities have shareholders and market-driven goals. A natural split in any tiered CBD system would be for the central bank to be responsible for the core of the system to the extent that they could steer the system to deliver policy goals and safe, efficient payment system. Multiple private entities would then act as intermediaries, completing and offering choice within the ecosystem to drive innovation. Remember the iOS 2022 document? You have XLM, you had Corda, we have R3, we have XLM, we have XRP, we have JPM coin. This statement right here explains exactly what the ISO 20022 document shows, where you have multiple intermediaries where people can have choices in their ecosystem. Okay. Well, let's leave you with this here. Ripple pilots a private ledger for central banks launching CBDCs, March 3rd, 2021. Ripple is so far ahead of the game, Warriors. That's why I think this Ripple case is all by design. I don't know, man. Maybe Brad Garlinghouse is rubbing elbows with them behind the scenes. Who knows, Warriors? Brad Garlinghouse, the reason why I say that, Brad Garlinghouse is part of the World Economic Forum. He is on the Digital Currency Committee on the World Economic Forum. They are partners of the World Economic Forum, and they're all working together to bring in a new world economy. So maybe he's rubbing elbows behind the scenes with them, or maybe America is truly the only ones dragging their feet. Really think about that. America's the only one dragging their feet, Warriors. That's it. America's the only one dragging their feet. Every other country thinks that Ripple or XRP is a currency, and just America, or America, there's something happening behind the scenes where America is going to shift power, right? And that's going to be the catalyst. We're going to dump America into the ground, right? Which is the world reserve currency, all by design, dump it into the ground so that it could be the big catalyst, the pandemic, to move us into a one world economy. That's what I think it is, Warriors. So I know that was a longer video, but I'm just going deep down the rabbit hole, Warriors. I'm super inspired, super motivated to help you guys, not to get to believe a word I say, to open up your mind and awareness to a new possibility for you as a human being. So if you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend, open up their mind and awareness, because a lot of people aren't getting the notifications on these videos, which is understandable. If I was at the top of the house, I wouldn't send my videos out either, because I'm telling people to get their shit together. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to get likes or comments. I'm here to open up your mind that you have the power right now to take advantage of the biggest shift in generational wealth. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. If you want to join my Private Warrior Academy, get your shit together, click the description down below. Join the Private Warrior Academy. The price is going up in November due to the fact that we are revamping the whole academy. This thing will be, the value will be unbelievable, and it's already unbelievable. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. As we always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.